Hereford manager Peter Beadle, emphatic victory. You must be delighted after what you said on Tuesday.
Yeah, we're pleased. The performance was better as well. So clean sheet, 6 goals. But as always, I'm extremely critical, and it should have been 10 with the chances that we had, without the ones that we didn't create in the play. But no, the other lads were much better today. We looked a bit more fluent. Passes weren't so they weren't so many awry. They were pretty much on blob with most of it. So it was good, and we created, like I said, and what was nice was we created chances, and they never looked really like they were going to threaten at the other end.
And a partnership of Simmons and Mills up front, that I think the supporters relished that.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. They both, Simo got 2 and Millsy got 3, so I'm sure they would do. But we try and do what's right for the team to find a balance, and today the balance was a little bit better than it was on Tuesday. So so let's give us food for thought. And like I said, we both know what the qualities they both bring to the table. And like I said, John's always going to be a crowd favourite with the goals that he scored last year. And like I said, but John also has to add certain things to his game to be part of this team, and he knows that. And and he stepped up today and took his goals extremely well.
Calming influence, the return of Ryan Green, that must have steadied the ship.
Well, it must have done. Clean sheet. So yeah, you're answering my questions for me as you go. So yeah, listen, Ryan's been out for a long time. That's his actual first game time, so he's not played any game time. So as it turned out, it couldn't have been a more perfect game for him to play in. And he knows he'll be sore tomorrow, and hopefully he'll be okay for Tuesday, and we'll see. But yeah, he brings something different to the table again. So like I said, and it's about finding the right sort of blend and the right balance. And I thought throughout the game today we looked much more fluent than we have been, and like I said, we were a constant threat in the end.
No Joel Edwards today. What was the issue there?
No issue. I just think that he needs a rest. He's got Joel's played most of pre-season and this season with a couple of constant niggling little injuries that he's had. And of course, because we're demanding so much from everybody, I think he's probably just not quite reached. And obviously, being club captain, he wants to do so well. He's probably been trying a bit too hard. And I think a little bit of a rest to recoup some of these injuries and get them better, and a little bit of time out of the team will do him the world of good. So and it was purely just a change, but it worked today because we looked more balanced, and we didn't look as frantic at times, which sometimes Joel can be because he's so keen to do well. So like I said, we just changed it today, and it worked. It looked, like I said, more fluent, more balanced, and we created chances.
How surprised were you by Bridgwater today? Because at the back they looked very, very sloppy.
They're a young side, and I know Craig well. Craig's done extremely well, and he's worked with some young players, and he's a fantastic coach. In fact, my eldest son played with him for a spell at Bridgwater, going back a few years now. And I know that his budget might restrict him to what he can bring in, so he's working with an extremely young side. But I wouldn't be surprised as the season went on that you would see them start picking up more and more results and being better and better. And it's, as we said, we're only the 3rd game of the season, and it's early, and everyone's sort of coming back now. There's been a lot of people away, and so, but yeah, I mean, listen, he will try and play a certain style. I think there's a fine balance between playing and overplaying. As we saw today, we caught them a couple of times, and we should have punished them more than we did. But it didn't work out for us on that front. But Craig's, like I said, that's the way Craig wants to play, and that's the way he'll work with them, and they will get better as the season goes on.
And how do you feel being top of the table after 3 games?
Listen, I haven't even looked at the table yet, and I'm not interested in the table right now. I'm just interested in making sure my team perform well, apply themselves with the right attitude, and we keep picking up results. So let's look at it again in sort of February, March time, and if we're still there then we're going to give ourselves a good chance. But at the end of the day, it's 3 games in.
And a very challenging week coming up. Shortwood away on Tuesday, and then the FA Cup clash against Alvechurch. Yeah,
like we said, as we know from last year, there's no easy games here wherever we go or anything like that. So it's going to be a tough game on Tuesday night. Players have to go to Shortwood in the right mindset. Lovely ground, nice pitch. But sometimes people can go there and get lost, and we need to make sure we get there in the right frame of mind and apply ourselves properly. And then we'll start thinking about the other one, the cup game after that one's done and dusted.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time.
No problem.